Hey Channel Insiders, I'm Katie Bavoso, and welcome back to part 2 of my interview with Armon Aghaie, CRO of MSP OnePath. In this half of the interview, Armon explains his focus on implementing automation tools to anticipate client needs and take time spent escalating service requests off their plates. I'd really like to talk more about some of the offerings that OnePath has, including your cloud offering, Final Cloud, spelled F-Y-N-L. I'll let you describe it. What is Final Cloud, and how does that differ from the public and hybrid cloud offerings that are also in your portfolio?
Final Cloud is us responding to a specific need that our clients have, and that is the need for some type of customized private cloud experience, right? I need the ability to run RDS servers. I need the ability for some type of dedicated desktop as a service. I need the ability to customize certain file servers, application servers, whatever that might be. And when you look at the market that serves our market, there isn't a ton of cloud providers that are like, yeah, you're super great at this. Obviously, the thing that the market has incredibly is the public cloud providers. And so we coupled essentially a public cloud offering, which is the big three, AWS, Google, and Azure, and our own build out of a private cloud offering to give our clients the ability to have more customized versions of backup and disaster recovery service offerings, more customized versions of desktop as a service offerings, more customized versions of various compute offerings that they may need. And we call it Final Cloud because we want it to be the last cloud they ever need.
Would you say there might be a specific kind of customer that would be a good fit for Final Cloud? I'm thinking of, running through potentially your existing customer list. Is there a vertical or an industry that you see this working really well in, or a type of business, for example, a senior living facility or a large scale one?
I was going to say that the majority of our clients that are using it are our senior living clients and our professional services clients. So financial services and legal services. And generally speaking, my assessment is that it's because they tend to be a little laggard in their adoption of public cloud technologies or just other, call it newer technologies. They're also in a lot of cases using software that can't run in public cloud environments. They have to be run directly on the infrastructure layer. They're not in any type of virtualized environment. They can't be in a virtualized environment. Or in many of these cases, these providers have some level of special networking requirements that we're able to facilitate because we actually own the physical infrastructure in our cloud. So we can stand up a different firewall. We can build out a different level of access, a different level of control. So it's interesting. It's not our, by business, it's not even close to our biggest sector of our revenue.
Wow.
But in terms of maintaining and keeping and often getting clients, it's something that's been an incredibly valuable investment because it's a service offering that fills a specific need that often comes up within the client base that we have.
What is the biggest sector of your revenue?
By a long shot, it's IT services.
That was my next question. Yeah. You offer a lot of outsourcing services too, just a lot of general IT services. What are you seeing impact that? And is it growing because of that?
Yes. The unemployment rate has always been a benefit in this regard. IT unemployment, specifically for IT services type employees, consistently has been low, right? And so there's always competition for the types of people and that we're hiring and that our customers would hire in the event that they were going to insource this. The difference it being that we have a lot more scale than the customers, obviously, right? And so if their core person leaves, it's a pretty big impact. And outsourcing that is by nature mitigating the risk of that very problem that they have. The other big thing that contributes heavily to this is that there is a growing complexity within the IT organization. And so companies want more and more varied technologies in their ecosystem, different SaaS offerings, different network requirements. And as a result of that, have varying security requirements or varying risk profiles related to the technologies they're introducing into their environment. that means that there needs to be a broader range of knowledge within the internal IT team. So even if you can bring someone on, the likelihood that you can fill all of the roles you need with the proportion of time that you need them, I only need a security guy or girl for 3 hours a day. I only need a networking person once a week, right? Whatever that might be. So I need 10 different smart people, but I need 2 full-time employees. How do I facilitate that? And MSP or outsourcing IT is the answer. The other big thing is very critical that IT service providers understand it's a race to the bottom in terms of getting automation and getting proactive work to drive all of the responsiveness to our clients. So the goal for all of us should be to get to a state where clients are never having to call us for anything ever. And that actually seems a little counterintuitive because that's how we make our money, is the reactive support. People picking up the phone, we have humans available to answer those calls and respond. The idea of someone being on the phone with us by nature is work stoppage, right? And so our clients don't want their employees dealing with technology issues. Every minute of time is wasted capital on their part. MSPs that are able to figure that out and effectively drive the amount of time that clients spend on the phone with us to the ground while providing value in other ways, making sure technologies are up and running, providing good guidance, et cetera, showing all the ways that they were able to reduce the amount of time that employees were on the phone, are going to be both the MSPs that last through this change that's occurring in the marketplace, but also the ones that are able to continue to scale and grow their IT services. Because we're focused on that, I think we've had a lot of success in maintaining the growth rates of our IT service offerings.
That definitely brings me into a question I was going to ask about exploring automation and artificial intelligence. Are you actively doing that right now, where you're implementing a way, like you said, to be proactive and to answer questions without the customer coming to you saying there's a red flag? How are you actively going down that path and investing in automation there?
The thing that I spend more time on than anything else is that. The thing. The answer has to be yes. I think we will start adding some level specifically of large language models, AI-based technologies into our ecosystem before the end of the year. Honestly, I think we'll be at a state where we can. And the idea is, how do we essentially automate all of the things that we can automate, right? I don't know the answer yet. Like, I wish I had the ability to say, oh, AI, this is exactly what an MSP needs to do. This is how to go to market with it. Right now, I think that most companies are going the speed to market strategy as it relates to AI. They're all like, okay, let's get something out. This is hot. We need to do it.
Throw it. Yeah, just throw it
out.
See what happens.
Junk. Like, I can only read the same generated email 15 times before I'm like, okay, well, I know what, in the same way that email campaigns are all crap now because it's, the same 15 emails you receive 20 times a day from 30 different vendors. Like,
yeah, your email is not finding me well at this point.
Correct. Exactly. You nailed it. The best possible thing you could have said, right? And so similarly, AI is kind of in its phase where we're just tossing stuff at the wall, seeing what will stick, because there's all these low-hanging fruit ideas. But the low-hanging fruit ideas are never the things that move the needle with new technology. It's all the tried and tested and innovated on things. And so we're going through very carefully and we're asking ourselves, in what way can this technology benefit us? And what way can this technology benefit our clients? If we do something, are we comfortable sharing with our clients that we're using AI to do it? Because if the answer to that's no, then we probably shouldn't be doing it anyway, because if you're not comfortable telling your clients you're doing it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, right? And the answer to those questions will ultimately inform what things we do automate and what things we don't. Over the course of this year, I think we'll get to a place to where we've really, really automated a lot. And like many things in the MSP space, this is all predicated on how much documentation do you have? How much can you standardize? How much do you know about your clients? How much do you know about the technology, architecture, and infrastructure? And most importantly, how much documentation do you have?
Do you have a branded large language model that you're in particular interested in trying out, or are you still exploring?
I spent the most time with OpenAI's models. Google obviously had its big fiasco recently, and I think all of them are going to have some kind of thing like that, because at the end of the day, there is a lot of political influence on these LLMs. And the more you have any type of influence in that regard, societal, political, the more they're going to be tailored towards a certain thing, right? And so that creates a difficulty. So this is more just what I know personally. OnePath in particular hasn't favored one or the other. That's just the experience I have. We're looking at all of the major ones, including, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of open source LLM technology out there besides OpenAI, right? And so it's not so hard to just open up and take some open source code out of GitHub and build your own LLM nowadays. Like, that is a totally possible, reasonable thing to do. The challenge is that the developers of those LLMs don't have nearly the kinds of resources that Google has with Gemini or OpenAI with their platforms, the GPT platforms. And so from a feature perspective, you're likely to be behind the curve if you're using one of those. I imagine in the next few years, we'll have kind of the same race that we had with cloud, right? Amazon introduced the market. That's OpenAI in this context. Everybody else who had money picked up on it and started building out their own platforms. And same thing that's going to happen here, right? You know, Microsoft was first to market in the sense that they were the big investor in OpenAI. Google's got their own platform. We all know Apple's developing something. Like, who knows what platforms we'll actually use. For us, for now, and I think this is where everybody should be focused on, it's about developing the skills related to training the models. The models are only going to be as good as you can train them. And so more of our time and energy is going into effective training of the models than it is which model needs to be picked.
Oh my gosh. A final LLM if you create your own?
Yeah, it is. There it is. You nailed it. You nailed it.
All right. We'll talk about how you're going to price that out for
Nailed it.
for my copyright after this.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Wrapping up, I want to talk a little bit about the vendors that are supporting you. And one thing, the elephant in the room that I have to make sure that I address, at least try to, after looking at some of your key vendors, are you being impacted by any of the M&A activity that we're seeing in the vendor space right now? And how are you moving forward or potentially moving away from some of those vendors in 2024?
Yes, is the obvious answer. Anybody who says no to that would be crazy. You definitely are. The reality is that as a technology services provider, one of the things that we do is we aggregate and collect what we believe to be the best vendors that exist in the market. And we have to understand that that's our responsibility. It's not necessarily the responsibility of the vendors to provide a good service. Well, it is, obviously, but it's our responsibility to be the check and balance on, are those vendors as good as they say they are? Can we put our name behind this recommendation to our clients? At its core, that's what trusted advisory and consultancy out of the MSP space is. And as a result of that mindset, I don't necessarily think that the vendors impact us too much, because it's our responsibility to understand that these types of things are going to continue to occur. Just like our clients, the MSP clients, shouldn't feel the impact of the massive amounts of M&A that occur in the MSP space. So with that, I think that it's pretty safe to say my focus is just on who are the best technology service providers that are out there? What are the best SaaS platforms that are out there? What are the best security vendors out there? What are the best cloud vendors out there? Which ones are we going to add to our reference architecture such that our target customer profile is happy? When they come to us, they say, yep, we're going to move all of our services to your stack because you have built a mature stack, right? And the more I have clients saying, nope, I don't want that technology as a part of this bundle, or I don't want that technology as a part of the service offering, the more I have to look back and say, maybe our reference architecture isn't doing what it needs. Or maybe we're going after the wrong client. It's that way of structuring the approach that makes it so that we're effective at building the right product portfolio and selecting the right vendors. We're not necessarily saying, oh, look at all this stuff that's happening to us in the market. Look at all this M&A that's happening to us in the market. It's a foregone conclusion. It's going to happen. I'm not going to change that, right? How am I positioning our business to be effective at navigating those things? Well, the answer is that we're singularly focused on best-in-breed technologies that make sense for the customer we're going after. We achieve that. I don't care about anything else. Don't care, right? Because, and that simplistic way of thinking, I'm very adamant about mindset. I tell the team all the time, mindset, mindset, mindset. If you get the mindset right, then the actions and everything else is a natural result. If you mess up on the mindset, then you got to try as it relates to the actions and all of the everything else. And so our mindset as it relates to product is simply that. Find the best in breed technologies. We don't have to worry about all the other things that are occurring. We navigate the rough waters when they happen, right? The VMware debacle that blew up on all of our faces. So from a product perspective, we just don't worry about the things we can't control. We worry about the things we can. Our mindset is really focused around that. And then all the other rough waters, we just navigate them when the time comes.
Well, speaking of best-in-breed vendors, are there any in the moment, whether it be the support that they're giving, just the awesome technology, or the fact that they make deals really easy because customers want them? Are there any vendors that you would give a shout out to right now?
There are some people that I think have been really, really good partners. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's interesting. I find that the relationship we have with vendors is more predicated on the quality of the relationship managers that they have. Right. And so at OpenText, Steve and Josie are incredibly. Dana, who introduced the two of us, right? That relationship, hey man, that relationship is one that will exist for a long time just because he's a great guy. Like, he is an easy person to connect with. And if he goes anywhere and he calls me, I'm going to pick up the phone and say, I'm interested in hearing what you're talking about because it's you. Right. And so I think, and vendors should realize this, and MSP should realize this as well. At the end of the day, the saying is still true. People buy from people. People connect with people. It's about, are you putting the right people in place?
Last question today. I know that OnePath has a history of charitable commitments in the community, and you even got your own charitable organization, OnePath Local. What charitable or philanthropic initiatives or focuses is OnePath investing in this year?
I'm going to stay strictly on OnePath Local for this because it is an employee-run and funded nonprofit that we are really proud of. And what that nonprofit does is it goes and it works with schools in underprivileged areas of the country. And we have our engineers go out for a day with refurbished computers from our clients that they've donated. And we teach the kids at those schools, always high schools, various skills and technology trade skills. And so maybe things like installing software packages, troubleshooting issues, removing antivirus from the computers. They connect with our engineers directly. They are sponsored by the school. They have a day or multi-day off-site that they can perform. And then at the end of the day, they actually get to keep the computers. We don't tell them that till the end. And so it's a really cool exercise, and it's all about actual education with the team.
I love that. Armon, if I want to get involved with OnePath, if I'm an IT buyer or a CIO and I want to learn more about you and sign up as a customer, as a trusted partner, where can I go? Where can I find you and get in touch?
OnePath.com. That's the numeral 1, the word path. Be careful not to spell it out. Or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Armon. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you back here in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. Thanks to Armon for joining me, and thank you, as always, for watching or listening. You can check out all episodes of Channel Insider Partner POV on channelinsider.com or watch on YouTube at channelinsider_news and trends. You can also listen to the audio format of every episode on your favorite podcast listening platform. Like, subscribe, and follow wherever possible to never miss an episode. If you'd like to be on the show, email me at partnerpov@channelinsider.com. I'm Katie Bavoso, and I'll see you next time.